Hi there, my name is Paige. I'm here with Living Lakes Canada, and our organization collaborates to protect water in a changing climate.
And I'm Monica, and I'm with Wildsight, and we work to protect habitat and wildlife and water. We do a lot of education programs to get kids outside and connecting to their wild backyards. And the program that we have developed together, our organizations, is around water quality. We really want to make sure that we can protect our water quality, as well as looking at how much water there might be in the future. So today's video will be looking at different aspects of water quality and why it's so important to monitor for water quality.
The quality or health of the water in our streams, rivers, and lakes is really important to us, plants, and animals. High water quality means the water is free from harmful levels of certain minerals, bacteria, chemicals, and pollutants, and has a temperature and pH that supports life. If the water is clean, cold, and unpolluted, it can support healthy populations of plants, fish, macroinvertebrates, and land animals. It can be a source of drinking water for humans and animals. It can provide food for a network of living things, including humans, that depend on it. It can be a great place to swim, play, fish, and recreate. And it can be used for generations to come. Local water scientists, like those from Living Lakes Canada, regularly test the quality of our local waterways all around the Kootenays, and in fact across Canada, to establish baseline data. A baseline gives us a snapshot of the health of the creek at the moment we test it. In order to manage water, this incredibly precious resource, we need to know what's going on, and a baseline can show us how things are changing in the water over time. Water health can be affected by naturally occurring inputs, such as minerals from the geology around the water or biological processes. Or it can be affected by inputs from the way humans use and alter the land, say by using fertilizers, which run into the streams. When testing water, we test for quantities of various nutrients like phosphates and nitrates, pH, which is the concentration of hydrogen ions, or how acidic or basic the water is. We might test for dissolved oxygen, because all the living things need that. We test for certain elements like mercury, manganese, and selenium, which could be toxic at high levels. We also test for temperature and turbidity. We'll also look for certain living organisms in the water and their tolerance to pollution. Let's look at a few examples of things we test for. We often test for nitrates and phosphates, which are chemical compounds that are a part of natural earth cycles and serve as nutrients that help plants and animals grow, but can also be produced by human activities such as sewage leaks, fertilizer runoff, manure, and other organic waste. If there's an excess of these nutrients in the water, they can cause algae blooms, which are very harmful for living organisms in the water and can be toxic for humans too. We test for turbidity, which is the relative clarity of the water. The more cloudy the water looks, the more turbid it is. We've all noticed creeks with high turbidity caused by spring runoff. This naturally happens every year when snowpacks melt and many sediment particles enter the creeks. However, if the turbidity remains high for long periods of time or is unnaturally produced, it can cause major problems like clogging fish gills, restricting plant growth, or making it harder to treat drinking water, as the bacteria can hide from the UV light or chlorine at a water treatment plant. You may have heard of a naturally occurring bacteria called E. coli, which causes problems at high levels. Sometimes when testing, we find high levels of E. coli in the water, which could be because of sewage or septic leaks into local water sources. This means the water is not safe for humans to drink or play in and will lead to your favorite beaches being closed until levels decrease.
Hi, my name is Patty and I'm an educator with Wildsight, and I'm at one of my favorite places here in Kimberley, BC, Mart Creek. And as you might notice, Mart Creek right now is beautiful, pristine creek with clear water and a natural flowing stream. However, years ago, this creek was heavily impacted and it would run orange. Lots of concerned citizens came together and advocated for the creek to be cleaned up. Working with the mining company and the government, They put pressure on them to do some tests. The tests revealed that there were high levels of metals and other pollution from the acid rock drainage that was coming from the lead, zinc, and silver mine upstream. This was very detrimental to the water quality and resulted in fish and other living organisms dying. More pressure came from locals, which forced the mine to put measures in place to reduce the flow of pollution into the creek. And then citizens were able to help restore the creek by creating pools, planting riparian vegetation, and making the habitat more suitable for fish and other organisms.
There are different ways of testing the various water quality parameters. Some are simpler than others. Even if all you can monitor is the temperature and turbidity on your local creek, you can be a citizen scientist who is contributing to a huge database that can help to protect the quality of water in your community. We look forward to learning more about how to protect our water resources through the next few lessons of the Watershed Matters program.